planting my onions and beets. Um, Finally doing this video that I was asked to do a few days ago. And it really is about knowing who you are and being able to have the courage to meet yourself, to meet who you truly are. Now, I'm in the Freedom Center, and this is a place where we create the safe space for you to have the courage to really meet yourself. And the reason why this may sound kind of odd, that you haven't met yourself before, is because we have been given stories about ourselves that are just not true. And we've incorporated them, we've believed them because they've been repeated over and over and over again. And also we've been scolded or bullied or belittled if we don't believe them, believe our teachers, believe our parents, believe the society, believe the government, believe the church, believe the dogmas that we've been given. Everything from even simple mathematics, to how life works, right? So this is probably one of several videos that I'm going to do because it's an area that I'm still learning, and it's confrontational for me every time I see what really is there. And I'm just going to back up and say that one of the things that really helped me was working with A Course in Miracles, where you're really trained to let go of a lot of concepts in your mind that are not real by really neutralizing everything. Just realizing that everything is neutral and I'm the one that gives it meaning, or I'm the one that takes on somebody else's meaning for it. It's like, why does a piece of paper with somebody's face and numbers on it have a value more than just a white sheet of paper? And when we really, really stop to observe what value we've put on things, then a lot can open up. So this time astrologically, as I'm speaking now, it's May 24th. And probably all over, most of the world right now, is we're in this kind of time where we just had the full moon eclipse in Taurus. This is astrologically. And listening to an astrologist, that I will put this in the comment down below when I do the edit. I listened to Molly McCord, who's really pretty brilliant and insightful in many ways, not just with astrology, but with really intuitively energies and knowing how to live life well. So she said that from now until like October of 2023, it's going to be major transition time. And this is a time where you really need to really go into your center, really get a very strong, solid center, like being in the eye of a storm. And so it's also allowing yourself to learn new things and to see things that you didn't want to see before. So this time is parallel, she said, to the time of 1933 to 1942. And if you look back in history, you know that 1933 to 1942 is when they had a major economic reset, the Depression, the World War, and it doesn't mean that we're going to have an economic depression and a world war, but it may mean that things are going to change so much that if you are too stuck in certain ways, it will be difficult. But if you really go inside and you look at what's valuable, and you really ask to be shown what is real and not what is presented to you. A lot of what we see of life now in the mass presentation is like Hollywood sets. It has nothing to do with reality. It has everything to do with psychological manipulation. And many of you realize that, so I don't need to go into that very much. But how deep that psychological manipulation is, I think we can dig as deep as we'd like. As I try to weed my garden and get the roots of this grass out, it goes so deep. I could dig and dig and dig and dig and dig, and then just do my best to get what I can out. And that's the same thing with what's happening in understanding what's real and the stories and the lies and the manipulative psychological games that have been played on us. Now, one of the things that's really key is to let go of needing to be right. Let go of your ego that's ashamed of being duped. This is something that I had to go through myself, just feeling like horrible, awful, that I didn't see what I now began to see. And it's kind of like, I don't know if you've seen the movie The Sixth Sense, where at the end it finally comes together and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I should have figured that out. There was this clue, there was that clue, that was it. But I was like shocked and surprised. There's a lot for us to learn from movies. A lot of what's in movies is really showing reality. I mean, things we think, for example, I know a young woman who said, when she was a child, she would, when she was in high school and they would read about wars and stuff like that, World War II, she would say, oh my gosh, how horrible people were before. And so glad that I'm living in a world where we're not that horrible anymore. And then, this war thing happens in Eastern Europe, and she's just shocked by it, that it's still happening. And the thing is, and I did other videos about this. It's titled. There's a video titled "Where Are the Reptilians?" And it goes back to we have every element that's out in the world within ourselves. And that is a positive thing, because when you know that you have control of the world if you have control of yourself. Now, do we have control of ourselves? Well, that's what going into Buddhism or into Eastern philosophies and Qigong and meditation, and that's all about getting control of yourself. In fact, A Course of Miracles is about getting your mind back, getting control of your mind back. So there are many methods. I'm not going to advocate for any one over the other. I can just say what has worked for me. But there's so much out there, and if you are not living in freedom and joy and abundance, then it's worth looking at one of these methods to discipline your mind and get your mind back. So what I'm going to say is start doing some research, not on the classic old social medias. You might find some things in YouTube. You may have to also look into like Unified TV, Gaia TV, Flower, let me see, what was it called? I'll try to put some things down here below for you to kind of research in different areas. I do know Greg Braden is a wonderful scientist that has also studied the different cultures, world religions, indigenous people, and really got to some truths. And he speaks in a very clear and neutral way. So I would recommend looking at some of Greg Braden's videos. Now I know some of you that are here have done a lot of research, have looked very deep. And I'm going to bring up this concept of divine law, which is the only law, Mother Nature's law. And then what humans, some people have called laws, which are actually statutes and mandates, and how they've really psychologically manipulated many people, me included, into believing I had to follow certain ways of doing things, I'll say, with threats of being punished. Now, this is where I'm getting into the meat. Most important thing to understand is that you are a living man or woman. And as long as you've done no harm, you can't be stopped from your freedom. So if you can remember to say to yourself and to say to others, I am a living man or woman. I have done no harm. I may be free. I am free. And then if someone asks you, tells you these statutes and what you need to do and ask you if you understand, they are asking you to stand under them. We stand under no one but the divine, with the divine law. You just say, no, I do not understand. And this is very key. I'm going to learn more. I'm going to share more. I was sharing with a few people, and they said, you've got to do videos. More people have got to hear about this. So if you are interested, please put in the comments below if you have some, if you have something to add to it too. I am learning as well as anyone else. But life is actually very simple. It's the freedom to create, the freedom to expand beauty and goodness and joy and just work with nature. People create many different ways. Like I'm creating a garden, and people, build furniture or paint or so many different ways of creating that brings you joy. That's where you should be focusing your time, creating in ways that bring you joy. And then as long as we're doing no harm to anyone, and even we think of Mother Earth, it's all connected. If we harm Mother Earth, we harm ourselves. If we harm ourselves, we're harming Mother Earth. Then we go forward with that creative freedom. So as we create, and we're creating all the time. Right now I'm creating a video. I'm creating words and concepts that I'm sharing with you. Be conscious of expanding the beauty, the joy, the things you would like to experience in life, the things you would want your children to experience in life. And if you notice, if you see that there's harm done somewhere, then that's where you want to shift things, to change things, to maybe heal things as well. So basically, I wanted to get this one message across for you really maybe to meditate on. You can look into scriptures and really understand what it is to be a man or woman, what it is to be a human, a human. Hugh is of God and man is of God, of God. Now we have also, in this psychological manipulation, been manipulated into thinking that God or divine or whatever is this authoritative figure and is horrible and is keeping you from your freedoms and such. That's part of the whole packaging thing. The packages are the deceiving parts that we've believed, because it's kind of like what we physically see, right? But go deeper. This is this time of going deeper, this Scorpio full moon. It's just a time of going deeper and really finding the truth of who you are, the truth of the source of who you are, the truth of divine in whichever way you want to see it. Many names given to it, and all those names have also been given pejorative meanings. as well. But it's not the name that matters. It's the essence. It's the spirit. It's the life force within you. Ask those questions and you will get answers with patience. Ask with determination. You will get a knowingness to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you can't be tricked anymore. And we have to accept, even as painful it is, that we've been tricked a lot. A lot. And that doesn't make us bad. It just means we haven't yet come to remember who we are. I'm feeling Mother Nature telling me it's time to stop this video. She's blowing up a storm. I would love to hear your comments below. I will continue. And if you have some questions or a particular area you want to look into, let me know. I will give you what I've been given as guidelines. Oh, there goes the tripod. And you have to find out for yourself. Nobody else can tell you who you are. Nobody else can guide you through your life. You have to do it yourself. But we support one another, and we stimulate one another, and we mirror one another. That's the beauty of being humans on earth at this time. Go forth in this day with blessings.